a young couple who thought they had found their dream home in the quiet town of Willow Creek, only to discover that some houses hold secrets that refuse to stay buried. It was the summer of 2024, and John and Sarah had just moved into their new two-story house with a white picket fence, perfect for their two young children, Emily and Michael. The neighborhood was friendly, with kids playing outside and neighbors waving hello. But beneath the surface, something was waiting. Their backyard, hidden by overgrown trees, bordered an old, abandoned graveyard, a place forgotten by time, where the dead were not as silent as they should be. The first few weeks were uneventful. They unpacked boxes, arranged furniture, and enjoyed the quiet. But then, strange things began. One morning, Sarah found the kitchen chairs rearranged. Overnight, one facing the wall, as if someone had sat there. She thought it was odd but brushed it off as the kids played. Then, there were the noises late at night. When everyone was asleep, she'd hear footsteps in the hallway or whispers coming from Emily's room. But when she checked, the children were sound asleep, and there was no one there. John tried to reassure her, saying it was just an old house settling. But deep down, they both felt uneasy. One evening, while John was working late in his study, he glanced out the window and saw a figure standing in the backyard, staring up at the house. It was too dark to make out any features, but it was definitely human-shaped, tall and motionless. When he went outside to check, there was no one there. The gate was locked, and there were no footprints in the dew-covered grass. Sarah had her own encounter soon after. While doing laundry in the basement, she felt a cold spot behind her, and when she turned, she saw a translucent figure of a woman standing at the bottom of the stairs. The figure vanished before she could react, leaving her shaken and terrified. Desperate for answers, John and Sarah decided to dig into the history of their home. They visited the local library, poring over old newspaper archives and property records. That's when they found it. In 1985, the previous owner, Margaret Thompson, had died in the house under mysterious circumstances. Her body was found in the basement, with no signs of forced entry or struggle. The case was never solved, and the house had been empty for years until John and Sarah bought it. Was Margaret's spirit still lingering, unable to rest, or was there something more sinister at play? As the sightings continued, John and Sarah knew they had to act. They contacted a paranormal investigator, Sarah, who arrived with her equipment, EMF readers, voice recorders, and cameras. She spent the night documenting every sound and shadow. During her investigation, she captured several EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, that sent chills down their spines. One voice, when played back, clearly said, "Get out." Another whispered, "She's still here." Sarah suggested the basement was the epicenter, where Margaret's spirit was strongest. They decided to perform a ritual to communicate with the spirit and, if possible, to put it to rest on the night of the ritual. Sarah set up candles and incense in the basement, chanting in a language neither John nor Sarah understood. As the ritual progressed, the air grew colder, and the whispering became louder, almost deafening. Suddenly, a figure appeared, a translucent woman, Margaret, standing in the corner, her eyes hollow and staring. She spoke, her voice echoing. "You shouldn't have come here." Sarah tried to guide her spirit to the light, but Margaret resisted, her form growing more solid, her presence more menacing. The candles flickered wildly, and the room shook, as if the house itself was angry. Finally, after a tense few moments, Margaret's figure faded, and the room fell silent. Sarah said the spirit had been released, but John and Sarah weren't convinced. That night, as they prepared for bed, they heard a soft knock on the door. When they opened it, there was no one there, but on the doorstep, they found a small, wilted flower rose, Margaret's favorite. Deciding they couldn't stay, they put the house up for sale and moved back to the city. But even now, years later, they still wonder if Margaret ever truly left, or if she's still watching, waiting for her next victims. And that, my friends, is the story of the haunting of Willow Creek, a reminder that sometimes the past doesn't stay buried, and some houses are never truly empty. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more terrifying stories from NightTaleHorror. And remember, sometimes the things that go bump in the night are more than just your imagination.